if it's Gauahar Khan, then it has to be interesting. So that kind of that you eventually have, as an actor over the work that you've done. And then when you finally get the kind of roles where a lot is riding on your shoulders, you feel like, oh, great, finally I'm getting noticed and finally I'm getting due.
Hello everyone, welcome to peepingmoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahani, and today joining me for a super interesting conversation is the best one in Bestseller. Welcoming Gauahar Khan. Hi Gauahar, how have you been? It's always so lovely chatting with you.
You're always so kind. I love your Instagram. Every time you mention me, I'm like, yay, Rashita.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. So, Gauahar, starting off with the trailer, when I watched it, it was very intriguing to watch. At the same time, I wanted to know so much more. Like I wanted कि trailer और थोड़ा बड़ा होना चाहिए था, so that we can get more glimpses. But of course, we'll watch the show and get to know more about it. What was that one most interesting part, or the thing that made you go wow that you signed the project?
Rashita, I was one of the first few people to have been brought on the show. And Siddharth called me during the first lockdown and said, I'm going to make the show on Amazon, and I and casting agent Kavish really want you to play Mayanka. Will you start reading it? I said, yeah, sure. So it became like a ritual for me. I used to look forward to the episodes coming to me because they would send it to me as and when they were writing it. So when I kept reading it, I was like, oh my God, this is a role of a, lifetime, because I really wanted something so substantial, something that lasts the length of the show, something that is so impactful to the plot, something that shows not just a linear character but a character with who has to deal with every other character on the show. So I was very excited that I got to play Mayanka, and the strongest part was that she is so relevant to every other character. She's not just a वो एक हिस्सा नहीं है कि वो एक बंदे के हिस्सा बन के निकल जाती है, but she is there throughout because she is Tahir Wazir's wife, and how his life and everything that is complicated in his life affects her life, and why is their life complicated from the beginning. And there's so many angles to Mayanka which makes it so interesting. So yeah, I was very excited about playing this part.
Fantastic. Now, gone are those days when maybe female characters were just wives or girlfriends or mothers or sisters. Now we are seeing, like Tandav, so many super, powerful women in one frame we saw in that show. Same with Bestseller. Now we see you not only as, Tahir Arjun's wife, we see you as this character who has, as you mentioned, who is related to each and every character. Like I saw you in so many frames, so many different frames in the trailer, like so many different things were happening with your character. How do you feel with the changing times? Now we are seeing so many powerful and impactful characters written for women as well.
Yeah, I mean, high time, right? I mean, actors who have proved over the time that they deserve to get more potential, more meatier roles in every project. So like some of the journalists I was speaking to earlier, they said, oh, if it's Gauahar Khan, then it has to be interesting. So that kind of that you eventually have, as an actor over the work that you've done. And then when you finally get the kind of roles where a lot is riding on your shoulders, you feel like, oh, great, finally I'm getting noticed and finally I'm getting due. So yes, very interesting roles being written for women, and I'm very glad. I'm very happy. I mean, I just saw a trailer where Neha Dhupia is pregnant in one of the roles in a. I'm very happy for that, where women are doing work where nothing is restricting them. I mean, you could be pregnant. Could be a role written for you. You could be a wife and you could play someone's love interest. So I like that fact. I like that women are getting that kind of importance, and I'm like, yay.
Fantastic, great. And also now this is like a proper multi-starrer. There are so many fantastic actors in one frame. There was a time where actors sort of got hesitant with, starring in a show which had a lot of other actors. But now I see people as actors have become very secure. They are like, we want to share the screen space with better and maybe equal people. How do you perceive the multi-starrer angle as?
It depends a lot with how secure you are as an actor within yourself. For me, I started off with ensemble casts. I started off
Yeah,
with a film called Rocket Singh, where every character meant so much to the script,
exactly. Yeah,
and how every character stood out. So for me, I think my base was very strong, and I feel that when you are secure as an actor, you don't really pay attention to how many people are in the show or in the film. You pay attention to how impactful your character is to the plot. And that's been my priority right from my first film that I chose. Uh,
yeah,
I never waited around to be opposite someone. I never waited around to be just someone's love interest.
yeah,
I always was drawn to roles where my role would stand out or my role would make an impact to the script. If you ask me personally, it has never been on my mind. That, in fact, I feel very glad that I am a part of a league where there's Saif, there's Dimple, there's Dimple Ji, there's the Kumud Mishra ji, there's all these,
yeah,
legendary actors. And then
I
there's
know.
Gauahar Khan. So
Yeah,
I'm very happy that there's Mithunda, there's Arjun, there's Sonali from the Marathi
yeah,
industry, there's Satya, and then, there's Gauahar Khan. So
I
I'm
know.
glad that I can now add value as an actor, not as a name or as whatever that I am after almost 2 decades in the industry. But I'm glad that when people see Gaur Khan in a poster, they know that okay, this will be interesting to watch, and that's
Yeah.
that. That's what I concentrate on. I've never really been insecure about who else is on the show. In fact, I get excited about being a part of where I get to, live my dream as an actor and work with the likes of Mithun Chakravarti. My
Yeah.
God, who do that?
I know. That's great as well. Now, also talking about, there's a scene in the trailer where, someone's hiding behind Tahir's name on social media and then going out and, spreading hatred or doing things that are not acceptable. I'm sure as an actor, you face the same similar things on social media. I read somewhere where you said that you don't really, give footage to that and you concentrate on the love that comes in your way. I'm sure the love is way more than these things that happen on social media. Now, personally, how do you deal with it on the internet?
Honestly, there was a time when I used to get very affected. Even now, if there's something extremely personal and
Yeah,
extremely devastating, it will affect me, and I
yeah,
will either choose to reply to it in a nice way, the way I do, or I'll just completely ignore it. But over time, I have realized that these are faceless, jobless individuals who
yeah.
probably are part of a bigger scheme. They are being paid to do it or whatever it is, and it could just be one individual who's trying to be
Hmm.
a troublemaker and do things for their 2 seconds of fame. But I don't really give them that. I just can't be bothered.
Okay. And also, Gohar, if I play a recap in my mind of the kind of projects and the kind of roles you have played, I've always noticed this one thing that nothing is ever similar, like not even one trait of all the personalities of your roles. I can pick and say कि इसमें ये शायद थोड़ा same था या ये थोड़ा मुझे similar लगा. Now, how do you manage to do that? Because as you mentioned, some other journalists were saying the same thing. Even I feel there's a certain credibility attached to your name, so you also maybe you have that thing also that you have to stand up with it and do roles that are completely maybe impactful or something that creates wave.
I don't know. I don't take it like, a certain effort that I have to make to kind of choose those roles, because
Okay.
out of the offers that I get, I'm very clear. मतलब ये मैं करूँगी और ये मैं नहीं करूँगी. So, the good part is that uh, from say a Kali Pili Tales to Sorry Bhai Sahab, the role was completely different. And then from a comedy, now you'll suddenly see me in a bestseller as in the part of a psychological thriller. So I
Yeah.
like to keep the variety going. And I don't know why. I mean, I do get the lineup of things in that particular mix. I don't try and repeat. Like if I have played a cop, I will not play a cop immediately. Back to back, because I don't want it to be like monotonous for the audience. I don't want it to be like, "Arey Gaur ne to ye kiya hua hai." So I want it to be like, "Arey acha Gaur ye bhi kar sakti hai." So that's why I don't know. I'm grateful. In fact, I'm fortunate that I'm getting those kind of roles.
And talking about, of course, working in the web space, now you have tried it all, films, web shows, reality shows, everything. Is there a particular thing that you have gotten more comfortable with? Or because we have seen you in versatile, angles, and we have seen you doing almost everything that there is. But personally, do you prefer something over something else?
No, I think work is work. And for me, I enjoy being in reality space. I love every time I appear on Big Boss, or, want to know my personal views as well. But I love being in front of the camera. I'm a performer. So I think being on the go and traveling and, being a part of live events and also performing in front of the camera, I think I enjoy it all. I can't say that I prefer one thing to the other, but because it's all work for me, right? So
Yeah.
quite all.
Okay. And talking about your character, Mayanka, in Bestseller now, as you mentioned that she is, this layered character which is related to every other character as well. Now, when you're playing a character like that, does it become difficult to detach yourself from that role once the show is over?
Well, I think it's life in between action and cut. I don't think I carry my character home, because um, then you're not really acting, right? Then you are going nuts, and I want to be as normal as I can be. So when I'm on set, I am the character. When I'm at home, I'm Gauahar, and I try that disconnection between work and personal, because otherwise I would be playing psychotic at home and double faced and complicated and all of that at home. So I don't want that to affect my life, and I think when it's a cut, it's a cut.
Okay. Lastly, I'd like to ask this to you. There's your crazy lot. There are a lot of people who love you and expect only good and good things from you. Now, we have never been disappointed in that area. But does that also put sort of an added responsibility or pressure on your shoulders, or does it come across as reassurance?
No, I think I have the most patient lot of fans, and they are not the people who I need to chabi, or I need to tell them ke ab ye karo ya ab ye promote karo. We don't get into that space at all. For me, whatever happens organically, if they love my work, I know them personally. I know their names, whether it's on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook, or whatever it is. I know them. So I know the kind of audience I'm catering to, and my fans actually, they're so sweet. Even the smallest of my work, they just love the kind of variety they get. So I'm just, yes, there's a certain responsibility to never let people down. And I don't expect everyone to love everything I do, right? And I'm not going to be so self-indulgent that I'm going to, oh my God, they're just going to love this, or they're going to, and I'm sure they also don't like everything that I do. But the kind of love I get, I'm happy with that. I'm happy that they are on the same, wavelength as me. So yeah, no pressure.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gauahar, for joining in. It was always so lovely to chat with you. All the very best.
Please do watch the show.
Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Bye.